Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke, Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello, Dick Van Dyke Show friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo. Today's episode is a look at my list of the top 5 Laura Petrie moments from season 5 of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Laura is a great character and she had many memorable moments from this season, very classic moments featuring her. So let's get started. Number 5 is See Rob Right. Rob, right. In this episode, both Laura and Rob have written a children's book story. They think their story is better than the others, so they're competing against each other. They're butting heads a bit. Laura is very interested in writing in this episode, and we have seen this once before earlier in the show. They each read their stories aloud to Sally and Buddy. But I like this episode because Laura has an interest, she has a passion, and that's really nice to see. Number 4 is No Rice at My Wedding. This is a flashback episode. Once again, Dick Van Dyke Show does a great job with flashbacks. And this is to Rob's days in the military when Laura and Rob are dating. And Laura is basically auctioned off, not really auctioned off, but she's chosen to go on a date with a very attractive military man. And Rob gets jealous, but Laura goes on the date with the man because she's supposed to. And this military guy is very charming, and Laura starts to develop some feelings for him. And so she's very torn. Who does she eventually want to be with? Who does she want to marry? Does she want to marry this man, or does she want to marry Rob? So it's really nice to see her make this decision. This episode is really focusing on Laura. And as we know, she eventually chooses Rob, but this is a pretty great episode. Number 3 is The Curse of the Petrie People, another great episode. In this episode, Rob's parents are visiting and they are presenting the Petrie family heirloom. It's a very hideous brooch pin that Laura has to wear. It's the shape of the United States, and each pin on the brooch represents where a male Petrie member was born. It's a hideous brooch and Laura doesn't like it at all. But she accidentally gets it into the sink and it goes down the garbage disposal. So it's now ruined. Laura, of course, feels horrible about this. She's very guilty, and so she tries every possible way to fix it. She even goes to a jeweler to get another one, a replacement. But I like this episode because it shows how much Laura really does care about her family, and it's a hilarious situation involving her. And her mother-in-law eventually appreciates Laura for her efforts. Number 2 is Long Night's Journey into Day. This is one of my favorite episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Rob, Jerry, and Millie have gone away on a fishing trip, and Laura is back home because she has a cold. And so she's by herself, and I think everyone can relate to this. When you're home alone, especially at night, you hear every single noise possible. Floors creaking, noises outside, and it's just very spooky. And this episode really highlights that. Laura is paranoid about every single noise. She jumps at the doorbell ringing. It's a great episode featuring Laura. And eventually Millie comes back and she spends the night with Laura, and they are both scared. So they stay up the entire night. So it's a very long night into morning. And they are both scared, and they think that there's a killer, a murderer in the house. And this is just a great episode featuring Laura, but it also features Millie. And so it's a great episode featuring their friendship. But my number 1 pick is Coast to Coast Big Mouth. This is one of the best episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show. It's so well done. Laura is appearing on a television game show, and she accidentally reveals that Alan Brady wears a toupee, that he's bald. This is a great scene, and I have a clip of this, so enjoy.
Well, I'll try.
Thank you. Oh, one thing I meant to ask you.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Alan Brady's house?
Oh, yes.
Huh? Does he wear his toupee at home?
Oh, golly, yes, he wears it all the time.
You mean that Alan Brady is really bald?
No.
Well, then why would he wear a toupee?
Well,
That's it, ladies. The secret's out. She knows, and she said it. How about that, folks? Listen, don't worry about it. I'm sure that Alan will understand.
Oh, no, he won't. You don't know him. When he finds out, he's going to just...
You what? You what?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
You what?
Very nice man. Thank you very much for all the prize.
Thank you for the scoop. Bye. How about that, girls? You having fun? Don't forget, you heard about this show.
But the best moment of this episode is when Laura is at Alan Brady's office and she's trying to apologize. He's very upset with her, and we get the classic Laura Petrie where she's not really able to talk. She's so emotional. She blubbers a little bit, and her interaction with Alan Brady is so great. There are so many funny lines in this scene. This is just one of the best scenes of Dick Van Dyke. So I put together a compilation of this scene. So sit back and enjoy.
No, don't say anything. Let me look at you. Fellas? There she is. There's the little lady who put you out of business.
Rob, as you know, Alan, you see, well,
What?
how's your foot?
How does it look?
Alan, could I say something?
You got more to say?
Well, I've been thinking, Alan, and, well, for instance, I think you look very nice without your,
Hair?
well, yes, and, well, for instance, now, I'm not saying this just because I'm in trouble, Alan, although goodness knows I am.
Oh, yes.
But believe me, sincerely, Alan, really sincerely, and you can ask anybody, I have always said that I like you so much better without your,
It's hair! You didn't have any trouble saying it on television.
Alan, I really like your hair, not on. Without it.
This is so. Why didn't you tell me this in private?
Well, I just didn't feel it was my place.
No, your place is on network television.
Alan, it was an accident.
An accident. So was Custer's last stand. You want a scalp to hang on your belt? Huh? This is a cute one. I had this one made so people will say, Alan is losing his hair. Would you like that one? Or would you like a crew cut one that I had made for the summer? Oh, this one, Alan, you need a haircut. Huh? Would you like these? What do you suggest I do with all of these now, huh?
Well, there must be some needy bald people.
And that's it. That's all I have for you this week. I love Laura Petrie. Like I said at the beginning of this video, she's one of my favorite characters. She's just so great. She's a great wife to Rob, a good mother, a great friend, but she also has a lot of funny things that happen to her, like in Coast to Coast Big Mouth. So let me know what your favorite episode is from season 5 featuring Laura. I would be happy to read that, so let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. And remember to always laugh often.